Kristin Kamato. How are you doing today? Today I'm going to be sharing with you the next 5 cards that I completed for Kendra's Card Challenge number 23. That's right, sketches 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you haven't caught the first 5 I did an earlier video at the very end of July there, because Challenge 23 goes for through the months of July, August, and September. I am taking my time because that's how I feel like doing it this particular quarter, and doing 5 cards each month and just submitting 1 time for Kendra's Card Challenge. Will I win a prize? Probably not. Do I want to do it because I need me some cards in my stash for Christmas? Yes, I am. Okay, so here we go. As a little recap, I am trying to find the set I was using. Oh my goodness gracious. It is this, pardon the interruption, older card kit from Photoplay. Oh, still miss them. Rest in peace. Hope you come back. Here comes Santa. There was a card kit available that was part of this package that I got from my local store. It had some of the actual pieces that one could buy individually perhaps, or perhaps that they sold in a collection, but it was just a hodgepodge mix of those various collection, I guess, the theme, if you will, but that's what I am using, so here we go. Card number 6. Alright, this was a pretty nifty layout. You got the long rectangle there, and the little piece peeking out over on the side. It could be pattern paper. The sketch may have called for that originally, but I went ahead and chose this solid red. If memory serves correct, I believe this solid red was like the topper or a liner of a gift bag. You know, gift bags, they've seen better days. I tend to use them as pattern paper. But you know, like the lip that goes on the inside of the bag, that might have been part of that one there, so I kept it because, you know, it's a solid color. Turns out that kind of maroonish red matched the maroonish red of this candy stripe type paper, so I went with it. Do I have any left? Just this tiny little small amount. Don't know what if I'll use that for, so but this was I'd gotten a package of like the goodie bits, whatever they call it. It had frames and some sentiments and different stuff, and this was one of the cut aparts. I did file the edges because it had like that little spot where it was stuck in, and I didn't want like the little Chad part hanging out, so I filed that away. Inked the edges in Distress Ink Mode Lawn. You almost can't tell. Maybe right in the corners I went a little darker, and because I went a little over the happy, I tried to color the whole happy with that lighter green. It blends in. You can probably tell a little more on person. This little border strip, it did not want to stay stuck to the sticker sheet. It always kept popping off, so I finally used it and added a fun little border there, a little pop of black, if you will. This Merry Christmas, shout out to T at Not Afraid of Color. I am a paid member of her YouTube channel, and last year she gave her members some printables that had a lot of sentiments on them with this kind of cool stitchy type look. Many different themes. Merry Christmas was one of them. I use this one often and frequently. You will see it again here coming up, and of course some fun jimmies. So there we go, simple enough. I like this layout. I think it's going to be great for larger and smaller scraps. The border was fun. May or may not always do that. That could just be a simple strip of paper, maybe even a Love from Lizzie strip, but there you go. Card number 6. Here we go, card number 7. It was initially oriented in a portrait mode. I turned it to a landscape mode for my particular card, because this ho 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 paper would look kind of weird this way, just the way I happen to cut the paper, no big deal, but I think you still get the aspect of the sketch nonetheless. This was one of like the little cut-aparts that were in one of the sheet sets. I just trimmed it down because the square was a little too big and covering up a little too much, so nicely trimmed that down. Corner rounded the edges. If you look, I did the larger corner rounding on those two corners and did the smaller ones over here. I don't know, I was just going with it, you know, because it didn't really feel like fussy cutting him out. I did stack him up on a couple pieces of paper I had extra in the stash just so he would create that small thin shadow around there without being too foamy, because this craft cardstock is the 110 pound from Michael, so it's super duper thick. Not my favorite. Oh, and when I do a card base for that, I cut them to the A2 size card panel, score it a ½ inch down, and do it that way so it doesn't completely open up the full way. But you know, you get a smaller panel to write on the inside, and that's okay. It's a Christmas card. How much do I need to say? Depending on who it goes to, right? Some fun jemmies, and this will go nicely through the mail still. That was sketch number 7. Here we go, sketch number 8. Ooh, I like this one. Rectangle and squares. That was good. I liked putting all like the fun little dots here. I think the sketch originally called for perhaps only dots here, but I extended it here. Reminded me, since we already had the candy, that these little dots are those fun little dotted candies that you would get on like the wax paper strips. So I was going with that because look at the polka dots there on that paper. Also can remind me of candy like that, so I was playing into that. There's that Merry Christmas sentiment from Not Afraid of Color again. I tried some Olo markers. I forgot, and I probably didn't use the best paper to originally print them out. Quick little ink blending, they did well. This one I forgot to say, I tried to use my Lisa Horton gold ink. Probably could have kept going on it, but I thought that light beigey gold played well with that particular sketch. But for this one, I used some Olo markers. I didn't like how it was completely coming out, so I used my 0 marker over the inside because at first it was a little dark. That's why it kind of looks like that splotchy, kind of bursty color. That's all right. I'll deal with it. I kind of like it. Now, these fun things right here are super cool. They were felt embellishments that I'd gotten at the discount table at my local store, Simple Pleasures Stamps and Scrapbooking. And I got the whole little package for $2.50. So it had these two. It had a Christmas tree and some gingerbread men on it. So those might be coming up in the final 5 sketches of Kendra's Card Challenge 23. But I liked how these were the candy, and that kind of pulled that all together. Red there on the outline is the poster board, metallic poster board that I got at Hobby Lobby that I use for when I want that little pop of shine, when I want a color, and then I don't, it works really well. It's thick enough, it cuts really well with all the trimmers that I own, and it was fairly inexpensive, but you still get some high shine on that. Whoop whoop. Card number 9 was a lot of fun. This was a play on card number 5, where card number 5 had the strips coming down, and you would take initially you cut them into little squares. You took the squares and punched or die cut out a circle. You cut the circle in half. Half those went to card number 5. The other half comes here for card number 9. I kept them in the same order that I used on card number 5. I had to go back and reference that card so I knew which order it was. These were just plain strips that happened to work out that were already cut in that stash that I had from previous cards, so yay! Now on card number 5 I did put a black band across it to help kind of semi-resemble maybe Santa's belt. So I did that here as well. This particular sketch just called for a skinnier strip, no problem. But I did use Kendra's card challenge. This is what the whole thing is. Love from Lizzie peel off strips, the pinstripe stickers. I have them in the glossy black, and I use them here as well, same as I did on card number 5. Remember that this paper here, that was a gift bag that had previously well, been a gift bag in a previous life. Now it's pattern paper. I think that particular one is where the inside of the gift bag was this one here. Could be wrong, but hey, who knows. This was a sticker that was on one of those sticker sheets, so I used it. The dimensions were close to what was on the sketch, but I think it still works. So I just matted it on some black paper and then trimmed away so it looks like it was matted with the same black, but easy enough to cut on my trimmer. I did use a fun eyelet, because eyelets, and I did pick those up from my local store as well. This twiny, oh, I guess you could call it twine. It's white. I'm using it for the ribbon on the tag. It was initially the, the craft and white twisted. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yes. I had gotten some, it was this. It was this craft and white. I just had cut a strip, unraveled it because I needed it for a previous project for the craft, but I had all the white left over. Well, now I found me a reason to use up some of that white. Waste not, want not. I knew I kept it for a reason. So there we go. I'm not normally a tag on cards kind of gal, but I like this. I think with the different tag styles, these would be cute. I don't know if I'd replicate this. This is cute too, but might be a fun sketch to keep in mind for scraps. Another fun note on this one, I did use some black sequins. These little black sequins are from Gina K. However, as we transition into card number 10, same sequins, that's how they come normally. They do have the hole in the middle. That's how they come. I, on the other hand, don't always like the hole in the middle. I wish that they were more solid, but these were ones I got when I was first starting crafting, so I'm using them. They do work great in a shaker card, however. And I liked how small and tinier that these ones are. And this was before I discovered the diamond dot drills to use as embellishments, such as like these white ones here. So I think I need to invest in some black ones. I think that will be handy. But what I did, at least in the meantime, was I had some black paint on hand. I rated a B Motto stash. He doesn't mind. I know, I checked. And dabbled just a little on the inside. I may have talked about that in the video for sketches 1 through 5, but in case I didn't, I will let you know now. So once the glue kind of dried, even though the glue I used does dry clear, such as on card number 10, it does dry clear, I went ahead and put the black dot in. Now, just the paint. It is a kid type paint, so it does dry to a more matte finish, and you could kind of tell in person because the sequin is shiny and the inside is a matte paint. Probably need to look at going to get some acrylic paint that does dry like a little shinier of a coat, but you know what, the two-tone is kind of fine. There's lots of tones. A lot of matte paper. You got the shiny for the pinstripe stickers and this little bit in the foil here from this previously loved gift bag. So I think it all pulls together for this particular card. Card number 10 though, I contemplated. Put my sequins on. I like putting them in groups of 3 and in groups of 3 on the card. Works for me. But I kind of like the openness. I think because of a lot of it, it was paired in either the white background or on the lighter red from the plaid. I don't know, it just worked out. And this one I was okay with leaving. So, but I did use some more Love from Lizzie strips. These are kind of a two-tone gold, where it's kind of got a matte gold finish in the center with the kind of shiny gold just on the outside. I did use the thickest of the 3 that come in that bunch. And that was super fun. And since my quarter rounder was still out, I took advantage again. This was the smaller 1/4" quarter rounder, and I just did the opposite corners. I thought the color palette kind of vintagey a little, so I just did the 2 corners there. And then the 2 corners on this side, and I liked how it left those pointed, those 2 corners rounded. I thought it added to the feel. This was one of those cut aparts, similar to what was this one. And yes, I realized, look, it's the same Santa. But you know what? It's not like these 2 cards are going to go to the same household, so all is good. Cut apart that I cut down because he was rather square, and the square just, I don't know, it wasn't feeling right at the time, right? So I did the double matte for him, because you know his Santa's the big man, right? And then layered up, this was one sentiment from the sticker sheet, and I just layered it on a scrap white strip that I had laying around, and that was enough because this particular sketch has the pattern papers going from edge to edge on the 5.5" side of this A2 card. But with all the strips lined up, it was purposely left that you have the border on this side and a border on this side. I think just how I was originally cutting down these strips, apparently I wasn't paying very much attention. So this card isn't quite 5.5, it's just a smidge shorter, but who's really measuring, and would you have known if I didn't tell you? Probably not. But hey, I mean, someone's going to get this card, it's going to be cute, and they're probably not going to measure. Of course, if you get this card, will you measure? Ha 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 ha. Okay, so there we go. Card number 10. Let's recap. 10, 9, oh, let's see. I think this one was 8, 7, and 6. If you have any questions about Kendra's card challenge, the cards I made, products used, or even just want to say hi, do let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye!